I'm Professor Moran, Microeconomics 112. We're continuing our discussion of costs, critical to understanding the next several chapters on types of business competition. In our last session, we discussed accounting costs versus economic costs. Accounting costs are costs that are paid to others for the use of their resources. That's what people think of as costs generally. But what is often overlooked is implicit or economic costs, costs that an owner incurs for using his own resources. When he goes into another line of work, he stops earning money for the use of his own resources and dedicates them to the cost of a business. It would be important that the profit he makes from using other people's resources more than covers the amount he lost by using his own resources in that new line of work. There are many types of costs, and so this can be confusing. We're going to discuss short and long run costs. We're going to also talk about total cost, total average cost, marginal costs, average fixed and average variable costs. Costs are very important to the business. It's important to understand them. There are many aspects to costs. Alright, so let's talk about short run and long run costs for a minute. The long run is the amount of time required for a plant to change its capacity, to change plant capacity. In the short run, the only things that are variable to it is the extent to which plant capacity can be utilized, like workers, for example. Short run product relationships. Costs are determined by the price and quantity needed to produce a good. The price of the inputs and the quantity of resources necessary will determine costs. Supply and demand determine that price for resources. Existing technology will determine how much quantity of a resource is required. We're going to start our discussion with total product and marginal product. This is done because we really want to introduce this concept of marginal product and average product. And instead of just jumping right into costs, which is where we want to go, it's easier for new students to understand the idea of boxes falling off an assembly line, products. When we're familiar with the concepts of total, marginal, and average, we can then substitute costs for products, which is where we want to go. Total product is the amount of output produced. Marginal product is the extra output that results from an extra input. So we're going to be adding extra inputs and finding out how much extra product falls off the assembly line. So we'll be calculating that by subtracting one total product from a prior total product. These total products result from the additional use of one more input. So marginal product is the change in total product divided by the change in total input. In this example, these changes are in 1, so you don't really see that division. But if these were 10, you would have to divide change in 10 into the change in total product. Average product is the output per unit. So you'd be taking total product and dividing it by average product. When we do this, we're going to discover the law of diminishing marginal returns, or the law of diminishing returns. And this states that as additional units of a variable input are added to a fixed plant, there will come a point when the gains in output will become smaller and then negative. This is what we're going to demonstrate here in this marginal, by looking at these marginal product returns. We're going to be able to classify each stage as increasing, diminishing, or negative marginal returns. It assumes that the plant capacity and technology are fixed. The only thing that can change is variable input. It's a short-term analysis. In the long run, the plant capacity is fixed, so this only explains short-run output changes as you add additional units of variable input to a fixed plant capacity. So let's take a look. Here are our inputs. We have no input. Your fixed plant is not producing anything. You add additional input. Total product rises to 10 from 0. Your marginal product is 10. 10 minus 0 divided by 1 minus 0. Okay. As you add another input, your total product rises to 25. Your marginal product, 25 minus 10, is 15. 2 to 3, add another worker, your total product is rising to 45. 45 minus 25 is 20. Notice that your marginal product is increasing. So, for example, one worker working alone can only produce so much. Two workers working apart will increase your total product, but maybe at exactly the same rate of 10 to 10. But two workers working together might achieve something called synergy, where their total output, because they're helping each other, will rise at an even faster rate. And that's increasing marginal returns, increasing marginal product. But when you add your fourth worker, your total product does rise to 60, but that's only a marginal increase of 15. Fifth worker, total product rises to 70, a marginal product of 10. The sixth worker, total product rises to 75, a change of 5. Seventh worker, total product remains at 75. These are diminishing marginal returns. Your total product is in fact getting larger, but it's getting larger at a slower rate. Again, it could be that there is crowding at the machines and people have to wait, and so although total product is going up, each successive worker is not as productive as the prior worker. As you add the eighth worker, though, total product falls to 70. That's minus 5. That's a negative marginal return. It could be that the workers are so crowded together on the floor they're bumping into each other and impeding each other's progress, and so you're resulting in a negative marginal return. Increasing, diminishing, negative returns, demonstrating the law of diminishing returns or the law of diminishing marginal product. Average product is simply taking total product and dividing it by input. 10 divided by 1, 25 divided by 2, 45 by 3, 15 divided by 4. We're going to practice again with a handout on this topic so we can see it in the next video.